Hello everybody, I'm Arzu and I welcome you all to this YouTube channel. So the topic for today is a very different topic which is used in literature, not in English grammar but in literature. Now, what is it? Figure of speech. So these are first of all, figure of speech are present in poems. Right now, what are figure of speech? So figure of speech are few words or few lines or few phrases in a poem which will make or which are used in order to produce some greater effects. Now you will get to know what I am talking about actually. Now, figure of speech is classified into 4 categories, which is on based of resemblance, contrast, association, and construction. I will let you know everything when we will come across each and every figure of speech we have in English literature. Now, what is the first one? The first one is simile. Now, now simile. Simile is a literary device. First of all, we can say it a literary device, or we can say them as figure of speech. Now, what is simile? So, a simile is a comparison which is made between two objects of different kind. I will repeat it again. It is a comparison which is made between two objects of different kind. So the main thing that you have to remember here is that we do not use simile with the things or two things of same kind. No, we will use simile to compare two different things. Now, if you wanted to know that if we have simile in a particular poem line or not, the identification is there will be 3 words that you will find in simile. First one would be like, or it would be as, or it would be so. So what are the 3 things? Have a look. Like, as, or so. Now, for example, oh, my love's like a red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. Now, friends, it is comparing love like a red rose. Now, is love really a red rose? No, right? Love is not a red rose. But the poet is comparing love with the red rose that will grow in the month of June during springs. So it is comparing love with the red rose. So how do we know that we have used simile as a literary device here? Because we have a word like. We have a word like in this phrase. So we get to know, okay, that this is a comparison and this is particularly a simile phrase of a poem. Let's come on few other examples. As proud as peacock. So we have used the word as here. So as proud as peacock. So peacock is a peacock is very proud bird, we can say, because they have a proud of their beauty. So it is saying, okay, next one, as tough as leather. So for example, the great Khali is as tough as leather. So we are comparing a human, a wrestler, the great Khali, with leather. Is he a leather? No, right? Leather and the great Khali, who is a person, they both are different things, but still we are comparing Khali with leather. So what we are doing, comparing two different things and using the word as. Fine. I hope the first one is clear to you all. Now come up to second one. Now metaphor. Metaphor is an implied simile. Now what is metaphor actually? Now in simile we will compare two things, but in metaphor we will declare that the thing is that only. Now for example, how do we say in simile that he fought like a lion, right? So it is a simile. But when you are saying it in a metaphor, you will say that he was a lion in the fight. Now these two, focus on this two. This is very important, guys. You need to see this. He fought like a lion is a simile, but he was a lion in the fight. Is that person, I mean, he is a boy, right? Can a boy be a lion? No, right? But still we are using the sentence, the phrase that he was a lion, which means he was very, he was very brave in that fight. So to depict that bravery, they use the word lion. So this is known as metaphor. Few more example. Life is a dream. Is life really a dream? No, right? But this is a phrase. The poet is depicting that life is a dream. Now if you want to make this line a simile, you will say life is like a dream. You will use the word like. But if it is a metaphor, you will say life is a dream, right? Now every simile can be compressed into a metaphor and vice versa. That is, a metaphor can also be expanded into a simile. For example, thus instead of saying, we can say Sachin fought like a lion. So we have used the word like, so it is a simile, whereas you can say Sachin was the lion of the fight. So it would be a metaphor, right? Now few more examples. Variety is the spice of life. It is declaring that variety is a spice of life. But in simile, as spice flavors food, so variety makes life more pleasant. So we have used the word so. So this is a simile. I hope these two are clear to you all. Now personification. Personification, basically when there is a non-living thing and we are behaving, or we will depict them as if they have life and intelligence, right? When there is a non-living thing, an inanimated object, and will act that this is a living thing, then it is known as personification. For example, laughter holding both her sides. Is that true? No. Laughter is a feeling. Laughter is a non-living thing. It is an emotion. It cannot hold anybody. It is not a living thing that it will hold anybody from both the sides. This lines means that that girl, she was laughing too much. So they have used the phrase that laughter holding both her sides, right? So laughter is a non-living thing, but still we are saying that laughter holding both her sides. So this is known as personification. Now apostrophe. An apostrophe is a direct address to the dead, to the absent, or to a personified object or idea. This is a special form of personification. In personification, we have read that when the non-living things are to be acted as a living thing, similarly, in apostrophe also, when we are addressing a dead thing, a thing which is not even present, right? When we will act, when we will try to talk or try to directly to address that thing, then it is known as apostrophe. For example, O death, where is the sting? O grave, where is the victory? O grave. Now grave is where we will the dead body will be graved, right? So it is a non-living thing, right? Now we are the poet is asking the grave, that oh grave, where is the victory? The person is already dead. That means he lost the game, right? So it is asking the grave that where is the victory, right? So here we are using apostrophe literary device. Now the fifth one, hyperbola. In hyperbola, a statement is made emphatic by overstatements. Overstatements means when we will exaggerate a thing more than anything. For example, you will understand this with an example. Why, man, if the river were dry, I'm able to fill it with tears? Is that even possible, that a person will fill the river with tears? Never. It is not possible. It is an overstatement, right? I hope now this point is clear to you all. Now the sixth one, which is euphemism. This is euphemism. Now what is it? Euphemism consists in the description of a disagreeable thing by an agreeable name. So when it is a description of when we are disagreeing to a thing, right? He has fallen asleep, which means he is dead. You are telling me a fairy tale, which means you are telling me a lie, right? Now the seventh one, which is antithesis. Now what is it? In antithesis, a striking opposition or contrast of words or sentiment is made in the same sentence. Now in this one, in this one, it is saying that in a particular sentence, a thing and the opposition, for example, there is a sentence. Now you are saying, okay, a very easy example. I asked my mama to give me chocolates, comma, she refused to give. Now in this sentence, I asked chocolate to my mama, right? And in the same sentence, my mama refused to give me chocolate. So the opposition is also in the same sentence. So this is when we call it as antithesis. Anti means, you know what is anti? Opposition, right? Now example 1. Man proposes, God disposes. See? The opposition will come in the same sentence, right? So this is what we're talking about. Not that I loved Caesar more, but I loved Rome. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I love Rome more, right? Now the next one, which is oxymoron. Now what is it? It is a special type of antithesis whereby two contradictory qualities are predicted at once of the same time. Now it includes contradiction. When there is only one particular thing, but we give two contradictory qualities of that particular same thing. When there is one thing, now okay, when for example, see, there is a girl and you are saying that she is very smart and clever. Now for that girl, okay, she is very beautiful and clever. Now the girl is one noun, right? Now you are giving two qualities of that particular same thing, that is, she is beautiful as well as she is clever. So this is known as oxymoron. So innocent arc, so cunningly simple. So we are saying it is innocent also, and we are saying it is cunningly simple. Cunningly means cleverness, right? She accepted it as the kind of cruelty of the surgeon's knife. Now, surgeon's knife, that means a doctor's knife who is treating that lady. Now she accepted it, that surgeon's knife is there to save her from a disease, right? To operate her, which is good for her. So this is a contradictory statement, right? So although it is a knife, but that knife will make her healthy, right? So this is all about oxymoron. Now, epigram. An epigram is a brief pointed saying frequently introducing antithetical ideas which excite surprise and arrest attention. Now, the epigram is similarly as overstatements when we want to arrest the attention of the reader, when we wanted to show, some over excitement, over surprised, over astonished with something. At that moment, we will use the literary device epigram. Now, the examples. The child is father of the man. Is that even possible? This statement depicts the child who is very small is the father of the man. The real meaning is that the child is more clever and smarter than that man. So the poet uses the phrase that the child is father of the man, which is known as exaggerating a thing to depict, to grab the attention of the reader, to put more emphasis on that particular phrase. So epigram is used to grab the attention of the reader. A man can't be too careful in the choice of his enemies. So it is exaggerating. Irony. This is a very interesting one. So an irony is a literary device where we are speaking exactly the opposite of the real meaning. Now, a very, very easy example. Usually our mothers use this irony literary device with their kids when, you can nowadays people will use a word sarcastic, right? So irony relates to the word sarcastic when we will say something which is very opposite to the real meaning. For example, a fire station burns down. Now, here it goes. A fire station is a place which is used whenever there is, a fire at a place. So we will call the fire brigade, for that thing. Now, so it is a sarcastic thing that a fire station itself is burnt. Right? So it is a sarcastic statement, a very opposite statement. A marriage counselor files for divorce. Now the person who is working in the matrimonial that site or somewhere, he files for divorce. So it is a very opposite and a very sarcastic statement. The police station gets robbed. So the place where will look for justice, and the people will go whenever they are cheated by somebody, or they see the violation of their rights. So that place itself is robbed. So this is a sarcastic statement. Now the 11th one, which is pun. A pun consists in the use of a word in such a way that it is capable of more than one application, the object being to produce a ludicrous effect. Now, when we use a word which has several or more than one application in that particular sentence. Now, for example, the first example, is life worth living? It depends upon the liver. See, this is a very beautiful sentence. Now, the liver, it functions, it will filter the blood, it will also detoxify our body, right? And if you are a drunkard, and if the liver is spoiled, then gone, right? So it has more than one application, and hence the statement, the word liver, which is a single word but has several applications. So now the 12th one, which is metonymy. In metonymy, an object is designated by the name of something which is generally associated with it. I hope this is very much clear with this line only. For example, a very basic, or you can say a dumb example, but it will be understandable. For example, for toothpaste, we were in earlier days, we call it as Colgate, right? Nobody used to call it a toothpaste. We will say that Colgate. Now that brand was that much famous at that point of time that people did not know that it is actually known as a toothpaste, and they used to call it as Colgate. So when there is a word, so this is called metonymy, right? When an object is designated by the name of something which is generally associated with it, right? Now the first example is the bench for the judges, the house for the members of Lok Sabha. It doesn't mean that they are giving houses to the members of Lok Sabha. No, the place there they will sit and they will have meetings and all, they will call it as the house, right? So the house is a word which implies for the member of Lok Sabha, right? Now these all are this one, the crown for the king. Now the king is depicted with the word crown. Now this 13th one, which is Synecdoche. Now, in Synecdoche, a part is used to designate the whole, or the whole to designate a part. Now, a very easy example for Synecdoche would be, for example, we will say that, at evening 5, we have a cricket match between India and Pakistan, right? So, if we are saying India, is that mean that the whole 1.2 billion population is going to have a match with the population of Pakistan? No, right? India, when we are saying India, it depicts only the 11 players of the cricket team, but still we will say that India against Pakistan. We have a match of India against Pakistan, right? So a whole, India is the whole country, depicts those 11 cricket players. Similarly, also when a part is used to designate, this is a vice versa. Just now I gave you an example when a whole designate a part. Now I will give you an example of a part which is used to designate the whole. Give us this day or daily bread, which is food. All hands to the pump. Now a part is used to designate the whole, right? Now the 14th one, which is transferred epithet. In this figure, an epithet is transferred from its proper word to another that is closely associated with it in the sentence. He passed a sleepless night. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way. A lackey presented an obsequious cup of coffee. Now, litotes. What is litotes? In litotes, an affirmative is conveyed by negation of the opposite, the effect being to suggest a strong expression by means of a weaker. It is opposition of hyperbola. Now, when a simple sentence is conveyed in a negative sentence, this would be more clear with an example. Now, when we say that don't think that she is a fool, we used a negative sentence, right? We used don't, which is do not think that she is a fool. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence? That she is very clever, right? But we didn't say that she is clever. We said that do not think that she is a fool. So, when we present an affirmative sentence by a negation of the opposite, then it is known as litotes. I am not a little surprised. Right, when the person is saying that I am not little surprised, which means that he was greatly surprised. So now 16th one, interrogation. Now, as the word says, question, but here they do not put up a question for the sake of getting an answer. No, they will put up a question to make a point, to make it more effective, right? So when they wanted to make a statement more effective by putting up a question mark and making it in a question form, then it is known as interrogation. Am I my brother's keeper? Are they asking you that is that a yes or no? No, they wanted to put emphasis that I am not my brother's keeper. He is his own master. He is independent. He can work for himself. He can make food for himself. So this was the this was the whole story which the poet wanted to convey. But they because they wanted to put up emphasis in that statement, they have used a question there. Now, exclamation, the 17th one. In this figure, the exclamatory form is used to draw greater attention to a point than a mere bald statement of it could do. Now, we all know about exclamation. Exclamation mark is always used to put up astonishment to surprise, right? To grab the greater attention of the reader. Now, what a piece of work is man. What a beautiful statement, right? So when they are saying that man is a beautiful piece of work by God, so they wanted to grab attention, and hence they have used an exclamation mark at the end. Now climax, you all know what is climax. Movie climax, right? What is movie climax? So when there is a series of stories, and then there is there is an end thing. So when there is an arrangement of series of stories or ideas that are arranged in order, from increasing importance, that is known as a climax, right? Now what is anticlimax? Anticlimax is obviously it is opposite of climax. When when there is no arrangement of series, when there is from a higher to a sudden lower and gone, a sudden shock, that is called anticlimax. There is no arrangement, there are no followed steps in that. That is known as anticlimax, right? So these are all 19 literary devices, or parts of speech, figure of speech that we have in English literature. I know this is a bit difficult topic, but yet a very important topic that you all need to know if you are if you wanted to know that this language better. And yeah, this is all about today's lesson, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Till then, take care all of you, and bye bye.